Enfeebled by her surprise electoral setback, the Prime Minister has lost that most precious political weapon, control of timing. In the 3 weeks since polling day, Theresa May has watched as a mere spectator while the clock has ticked down on her premiership. The likely passage of the Queen's speech tomorrow will give Theresa May her first opportunity since the election to assume some control over the date of her exit. Allies have told Newsnight that having secured the Tory grip on number 10, the Prime Minister will seek to remain in Downing Street for at least 2 years, the duration of the Brexit talks. But one former cabinet minister believes Theresa May should stand down by the time of the next election, if not before.
It is widely accepted, as I say, across the Conservative Party that we need to have a new leader in place by the time that the Conservative Party goes into the next election.
A leading Brexit supporter believes Theresa May could yet confound her critics.
Being Prime Minister in tenancy terms is an assured shorthold rather than a 1977 Tenancy Act. That some Prime Ministers who look incredibly strong and who will go on forever are gone quite quickly. So if you take David Cameron in August 2015, you thought he could be there for years, and he's gone within 12 months. If you take Margaret Thatcher in 1981, everyone's conspiring to get rid of her, and then the Falkland comes along and she's in for nearly another 10 years. So with Mrs May, it's very hard to tell, but she could be there longer than people are currently speculating. That with the DUP, there's the basis of a parliamentary majority. Tory MPs don't want an election, the DUP doesn't want an election, a lot of backbench Labour MPs don't much want an election either.
In private, cabinet ministers agree with the Prime Minister that she has the right to see the Brexit talks through, though they wonder whether she has the stomach for a relentless fight in Parliament. Other Tories say that the successful passage of the Queen's speech will allow them to ask difficult questions about her future as Prime Minister. They say that the length of her tenure in Downing Street will depend on the answers to 3 questions. In the first place, does she have the authority to see the Brexit negotiations through? Secondly, is there a credible alternative? And the final question is, can she rise again like a phoenix? Nicky Morgan believes the Brexit timetable points to a natural handover of power around the autumn of next year.
Once that shape of Brexit is concluded, once those deals are very much on the table, the Conservative Party must not miss the opportunity at that stage to think about who we want to be our future leader.
Because that's interesting, because essentially the position is, the Barnier position is that the deal should be on the table by basically October 2018, so you can allow for that ratification. So it could well be around about that stage, towards the end of 2018, the Conservative Party needs to think about who its leader should be.
I think that's probably right. That's certainly one timetable. Of course, I think one of the things that the last couple of years have shown is that making predictions about British politics or international politics is incredibly difficult at the moment. But I think the point is that the Conservative Party, having started on the Brexit road, really is going to own the negotiations, is going to own the shape of Brexit, and that's clearly going to be something that will, if not be the issue of the next election, will be something that will be standing on that record in terms of the party going into the next election.
One Tory who was a surprise loser in the election thinks Theresa May will need to change her ways to survive.
We will need a leader who can articulate a vision about where Britain is and where it needs to be in the next, say, 10 years. That's the task. And I think Theresa is an excellent operator in many, many ways, but she has got to change her style in terms of setting out an agenda, talking about a vision and connecting with people. And if she doesn't do that, I think there may well have to be a change.
One Tory grandee told me simply, Theresa May is finished as Prime Minister. She has no authority to conduct the Brexit negotiations, and she should announce immediately after the passage of the Queen's speech tomorrow night that she is allowing for an orderly transition to a successor. But one cabinet minister who is aware of the Prime Minister's flaws says that she is slowly building up her credibility around the cabinet table and in Parliament. Theresa May is helped by strong backing from Brexiteers. One leading figure insists he supports her on merit.
very often our strengths and our weaknesses are the same two sides of the same coin. That Theresa May is strong and stable, or she's a rude word, difficult woman. And if you're looking at her strength, she's strong and stable. If you're an opponent, she's expletive, deleted, difficult woman. And that is exactly the same personality type. And what we need at the moment is somebody who is resolute and carries on, has an element of stubbornness within her. That seems to me to be the leader that we've got.
Jacob Rees-Mogg believes the talk of an early leadership contest is far-fetched.
I think it's folderol. I don't think anything is actually happening. None of these figures has tapped me on the shoulder, nor have their agents, and said, why don't you back so-and-so, Snodgrass Minor, for the leadership.
A beneficiary of the troubled Tory campaign offers some advice for the Prime Minister.
She won't last as Prime Minister if she cannot build agreement across the House for a sane Brexit. She won't, because people are very clear from what they heard from their constituents that a change in approach is needed. And she really does need to understand what happened during the election, drop those slogans, focus on a sane Brexit and build across party divides.
By tomorrow night, Theresa May will have consolidated her hold over Downing Street, giving her greater control over the timing of her next moves. But a sense that the countdown to her own exit has slowed may ironically embolden Tory critics to speak out.